The mirror became my enemy at 12 years old. It happened in church, of all places. I was walking past the fellowship hall when Sister Adeyemi stopped me. Her hands on my shoulder, her head tilted in that way adults do when they're about to say something they think is harmless. She sighed, shaking her head slowly. And you used to be such a pretty little girl when you were younger. Used to be? Wow. She smiled and walked away, leaving me standing there with those 5 words, rearranging everything I thought I knew about myself. My mother loves telling me the story of the day I was born, how church members flooded the hospital to see the baby girl she had just delivered, how Sister Adeyemi had gasped and said, see the fine Oyibo you just born though. I came into the world so light-skinned that people thought I was half-caste. I'd seen the photos, that beautiful baby with bright eyes, the adorable toddler everyone wanted to hold, the pretty little girl in Sunday dresses who smiled so easily for the camera. But after Sister Adeyemi's comments, I couldn't see that girl anymore. I started studying my reflection like it was a test I was failing. My nose, when did it get so wide? My forehead, too big. Oh, definitely too big. My skin, darker now, uneven, my lips too big, my ears, my eyes, everything became evidence of what I had lost. The mirror showed me 1,000 small flaws and each one whispered the same message. You used to be pretty, not anymore. My mother would call me for dinner and I would arrive late because I'd been staring at old photographs, trying to figure out exactly when I stopped being beautiful. Trying to find the moment when pretty slips through my fingers. The devil, I learned, loves a lie you already believe. Once I decided I was ugly, he made sure to send confirmations. Random people began to drop comments like grenades. You should smile more, it helps. Have you tried honey and lemon for your skin? Small cuts, each one deeper than the last. Then came the day that shattered me completely. I was playing one day with my friends when a little boy, maybe 7 years old, looked at me and casually said, "You're ugly." He ran off laughing like he had just cracked a joke. I made it home before I started crying. I stood in front of my bedroom mirror, and for the first time, I didn't just dislike what I saw, I hated it. Whatever fragile confidence I had been clutching dissolved completely. What happened next, I can't fully explain. Nobody taught me to do it. I hadn't read it in a book or heard it preached. But standing there, tears on my cheeks, I opened my mouth and said out loud to my reflection, I am wonderfully and beautifully made. The words felt strange, almost like a lie, but I said them again. I am wonderfully and beautifully made. I decided I would say what God said about me even if I didn't feel it yet. Every single time I looked in the mirror, morning, afternoon, night, I spoke those words. Sometimes I believed them, most times I didn't, but I kept speaking. Days passed, then weeks. Something began to shift. It wasn't that my face changed though, well, maybe it did, but honestly, I don't know. Slowly but steadily, the way I saw my face changed. The critical voice that had been screaming in my head started to quiet. The flaws I had been obsessing over began to fade into the background. What came forward instead was something I had forgotten. I was made by a God who doesn't make mistakes. The knowledge settled in my bones not as arrogance, but as truth, as fact, as something no one could argue me out of, because it wasn't based on anyone else's opinion. Not Sister Adeyemi's, not the little boy, not even my own former doubts. And here's the part that still amazes me. The moment I truly believed it, everyone else seemed to believe it too. People started calling me beautiful again. Friends asked me for skincare advice like I was using one. It was like the world had been waiting for me to see what they could see all along. Was it magic? No. Was it the word of God working exactly as it promises to work? Absolutely. So girl, let me tell you something. If you're standing in front of your mirror right now, cataloging everything you hate about yourself, your nose, your weight, your skin, your hair, whatever the enemy has convinced you is wrong, stop. Don't speak those lies out loud. Don't give them power. Don't agree with the voices that say you're not enough. Instead, find out what God says about you. He says you're wonderfully and beautifully made. He says you are fearfully crafted. He says you bear his image. And girl, God is beautiful. You might say you've never seen him, but have you seen sunset? If the creator of all that beauty made you in his image, what does that make you? Girl, it makes you stunning. Here's the thing though, you have to know it first. You can't wait for other people to tell you. You have to stand where God stands. See yourself as he sees you and say only what he said about you. Do that and watch how everyone else falls in line. The word of God works like magic, except it is not magic at all. It's just truth doing what truth does, setting you free. Until next time.